We had a chance to visit the beautiful Nehrling Gardens in Gotha. Let's take a look.
We're standing here today in the Pollinator Garden at historic Nehrling Gardens. Known as Nehrling's Palm Cottage Gardens. And you'll notice we're standing right next to a wild pollinator box. And you'll notice the different sizes of bamboos and holes. Pollinators are all about finding the holes where they can lay their eggs. So the bigger holes are for your bumblebees, your mason bees, and your carpenter bees. The medium-sized holes are for your little green metallic orchard bees and your honey bees or your smaller medium bees. And the tiny little holes are for your tiny little pollinators. And if you focus the camera, you'll see lots of these little pollinators buzzing around the gardens. They all get their food and their nectar off of Florida native plants, wildflowers. All the plants that you see here in this garden are where they get their nectar. The wild pollinators are 6 times more efficient at pollination than the honeybees because they're not feeding a queen, they're not making honey, they're not collecting for the hive. They go around, they collect their pollen, and then they stuff the pollen in the hole, they lay an egg, they cover it, and then they move on to the next plant. So you'll see maybe 6 eggs lined up in a one little tube of bamboo. So that's why they're always buzzing. They're so fast. You can barely keep up with a bumblebee. When you're ever chasing a bumblebee around, you'll notice you can barely keep up with them. They're so busy, and they're so much more efficient at pollination because they don't have to feed that queen, don't have to feed that brood, don't have to make copious amounts of honey. So put your wild pollinator boxes in your garden. Give them the food they need by putting in Florida wildflowers, Florida plants, shrimp plants, milkweed, all these plants, porterweed, all these wonderful plants that you see around that feed your pollinators.